YouTube is falling apart at a terrifying rate that I've never witnessed before. And I personally believe if it continues down this path, it'll lead to the total extinction of YouTube's creator ecosystem. Let me explain. Now, I know that I complain about YouTube quite often. Hell, I was yelling about AI slop taking over YouTube a few months ago, but it was mainly based on suspicion and observation. However, my suspicions have been confirmed. According to this article, a YouTube channel called Bandar Apna Dost has made over $4 million over the course of 2025 and did so via AI slop YouTube Shorts.
Sir, flight में बंदर allow नहीं है.
If that does not enrage you, I don't know what will. This content is the lowest of the low, and it's being massively rewarded by YouTube. Instead of removing it, they allow it. Hell, even YouTube CEO, Neil Mohan, is a big advocate of AI on YouTube. So the entire situation is extremely dire. Instead of caring about the creators, it seems that YouTube cares more about the bottom line. And having channels upload legions of AI slop videos is profitable for them. So why should they complain, right? Guys, I've been on this website since 2007, and it means a whole lot to me. My entire adult life has essentially been built on the foundations of this website. My job, my friends, my passion. I have YouTube to thank for that. I want YouTube to be the best website it can be, because I personally know that it can open doors for millions of independent creators to achieve their dreams. Sadly, that door has been slowly closing throughout the years, and now it has accelerated at an alarming rate. What was once a roster of organic channels has now been replaced by massive corporations and astroturf creators. But the rise of AI slop has been the most dangerous addition to YouTube's meta. In tandem with YouTube Shorts, which is essentially the meta right now, it has become insanely difficult to grow and survive on this platform. So consider this my final video on the subject. I don't want to be a broken record, but I genuinely believe that the current situation is extremely dire for old YouTubers and new. I've seen my numbers come tumbling down over the course of last year. Maybe it's me, maybe it's the algorithm, maybe it's both. But I've seen hundreds of other creators in the same boat as me. And for new creators who want to make a name on YouTube, good luck. This is an algorithm that cares more about output above all else. And there's no way you can keep up with AI slop. It's simply impossible. It steals from other creators and can be made with a simple prompt. It is like the perfect shitstorm. Brain rot plus AI slop plus YouTube Shorts equals kissing your dreams of being a YouTuber goodbye. Is this the end of the creator-driven era of YouTube? Will the future just be endless AI slop via YouTube Shorts? Will ad rev money be siphoned away from actual human creators in favor of these bots? Well, I got a list here of my main concerns, advice, and predictions for YouTube as a platform, plus a personal confession of my own about my future here on YouTube. So let's find out. Oh, by the way, I launched a second channel where I review videos in a more casual, chill way. There are so many topics I can't get around to on the main channel, so I made a second channel for that. Primal Season 3, haha you clowns. Good stuff. Go subscribe, link down below. If you don't subscribe, I will cry. Thank you. Go check it out.
We'll find our way back here.
But wait! This video is brought to you by Raycon. Folks, 2025 was quite the year. I hated it. And hopefully, 2026 will be much better. And now that the holidays are over, it is time for us to step back into our routines. Whether that be hitting the gym again or just going out for your daily walkies, audio quality can make a huge difference. And Raycon's open-ear essential earbuds can help deliver premium quality audio without blocking out the world around you. They sport an open-ear multi-angular hook design and keeps your surroundings audible while you hum the theme song of your life. Being able to hear the world around you is important, especially if a car is about to hit you. Especially while you're out there trying to tackle your New Year's resolution safely. Keeping your senses dialed in can keep you prepared for the unexpected. For me, I live with a couple of dachshunds. I step on them all the time. All the time. One of them does it on purpose. So being able to hear when they're nearby is essential so that I don't accidentally step on them. Again, they do it on purpose, I swear. I also live in a more suburban area with crazy traffic around me, so it is a relief to have earbuds that allow me to hear approaching vehicles. I also really like them because they're packed with awesome features, such as long-lasting battery life, which provides up to 8 hours of continuous playback time. And they're quick charging to keep you on the go, along with multi-point connectivity for connection on multiple devices, and also much, much more. So join the over 3 million people that have made the switch over to Raycons. It is easier than you may think, with competitive pricing that beats out the competition. And to top it off, Raycon gives you a generous 30-day window to make sure that you love them. So if you're looking to crush your New Year's goals with clarity and awareness, then head on over to buyraycon.com/SaberSparkOpen to get 20% off site-wide during their New Year's sale. From the open ear essentials to the latest releases. Or hit up my QR code on the screen. Happy New Year from Raycon and all of us on Team SaberSpark. And now, back to the video. Let's start off with one of the more culturally frustrating concerns on my list: brain rot. Arguably, YouTube has always had low-effort content that I would loosely define as brain rot, but as of late, it has become a streamlined and popular genre. For those who don't know what it means, it's basically low-quality garbage that's poorly made and usually based off of something trendy like Digital Circus or Skibbity Toilet. Initially, brain rot really took off with Elsagate, but then it blew up with the addition of AI slop. Real quick, I'm gonna share with you all 2 stories of brain rot from my own personal anecdotes. First one, I was at the airport. I went to the front desk waiting to get checked in. I saw a family in front of me. There was a kid there who looked to be about maybe I'd say 2.5 or 3. They had their phone. I peeked over their shoulder, and they were watching Digital Circus content farms, and they were mesmerized to the point where the parents walked away, and saying the kid's name would not snap them out of this trance. They were hooked. And I was like, what are they even watching? I think I saw some kind of bathing suit with Pomni. I don't know. But I saw it in the wild. I saw kids watching brain rot content farms in the wild. Second time, I was at my nephew's basketball game. It was at this church league. Some coach came out. He's like, hey, let's bow our heads and say a prayer. I'm like, okay. As I'm closing my eyes and bowing my head, and the coach is like, dear God, I just want to thank you for this day, for bringing us all together to play basketball. And there's a little kid on a phone next to me, and didn't turn it off during the prayer. It's going. And you just hear all this noise coming from the phone, but the standout noise was from Randy Marsh. I guess that soundbite of him going is a popular audio sound effect on YouTube brain rot videos now. So to hear that during the middle of the prayer, it broke me down, where I had to cover my mouth with my hands, and I was gonna die. I was on the verge of just busting a gut, hearing some while this youth pastor is trying to pray. So yeah, kids, they like their brain rot. They like their YouTube videos that have nothing of substance. Though I saw some other kid recently, it was at dinner time with my fiance, and we saw this kid with his parents, and the kid was watching Miss Rachel, so I'm like, hey, that's fine. Listen, I'm not gonna judge parents for giving their kids tablets to occasionally shut them up. I grew up with a Game Boy Pocket, a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, and a Game Boy DS. You better believe it. And if I could have had a tablet when I was a kid, I would have taken it like that. But since animation and entertainment in general have become a lot more fragmented since the downfall of network television, you now have hundreds of thousands of channels churning out as much eye-catching, low-effort, brain-rotting content as possible. It is genuinely concerning to see how addicted kids and adults have grown to their devices, that they cannot function without their daily dopamine hit. Daily, more like every 10 minutes. every minute sometimes for some kids, hell, even every 15 seconds. It is that bad. Now, I'm going to discuss this topic a bit more in detail in a future video. Why Generation Alpha doesn't care about cartoons anymore. But for the time being, I think most people are well acquainted with brain rot and how it has taken many forms on YouTube, such as AI slop. If you thought the low-effort brain rot content was bad, it does not hold a candle to AI slop. It is like brain rot on steroids. I brought up this concern in a previous video, and it has been 100% validated. According to an article, over 20% of YouTube is now AI slop. And as I previously said, the top grossing AI channel makes over $4 million per year. Full stop, that is unacceptable and a horrible precedent to set. AI slop is rising at a critical rate in viewership and uploads. It's 20% now, but I bet that number could rise as high as 50% next year. People are starting to figure out that they can do this as a source of income, and the problem will get much worse before it gets better. Hell, if it even gets better. Thanks to brain rot, millions of people have been conditioned to accept AI slop as standard content, when in reality, it's garbage. But the algorithm favors this kind of content output. Guys, the most profitable and successful I've ever been on YouTube was in 2021, when I was putting out a video once a week, sometimes twice. And I can tell you, on good authority, YouTube rewards that kind of output. They want you to make more videos. Upload is king. So for AI slop channels, they get an actual advantage in the algorithm. How fucking unfair is that? For folks who try to compete with genuine videos, they can't keep up with the competition. It is so insanely easy for anyone to steal content via generative AI and just upload until you finally get a hit. Oh, by the way, to everyone who has noticed an increase in your power bill, you can thank generative AI and data centers for that. Also, fuck your fresh water too. Just fuck everything. Everything's awful right now. Also, it isn't just YouTubers. It is everyone. AI slop is everywhere. And it's a net loss for humanity. Seriously, I don't know how we can come back from this unless everyone magically grows a filter for quality, or some kind of guardrail is established from private companies or the government. Fat chance, right? Needless to say, it is very hard to feel hopeful in this situation that only continues to get worse. But the main vessel of YouTube's current downfall has been YouTube Shorts. Let me explain. I remember when Shorts first arrived, and I did not think much of them. What is this? TikTok for YouTube? Why would my audience care? They watch long-form videos after all. But then I spoke to a YouTube contact, and they were like, yeah, make shorts. YouTube is basically giving you access to millions of people who will subscribe to you. You're essentially being pushed to the front of the line. And yeah, that was true. They gave YouTube Shorts preferential treatment, and that's still the case. I have some shorts that have earned me tens of thousands of subscribers. But guess what? That's cool and all, but subscribers don't pay the bills. And making transformative shorts usually costs more than they make. It is only profitable if you upload lots of shorts and make them on the cheap. I initially made shorts to test them out, and also for the love of the game. But seeing other channels run laps around me with their AI content, well, it's kind of discouraging. It's especially alarming too, because one of the biggest demographics for YouTube Shorts are kids. I have family members who are kids, and their favorite type of content are YouTube Shorts. I asked them, okay, but like what kind of YouTube Shorts? And they're like, IDK, just whatever shows up. And I was dumbfounded. They don't even know what they want. It's just being shoveled onto their screens. The only long-form content you'll see on these short channels are compilations of their shorts, and that's it. Most of them don't even try with long-form videos, because why bother? Shorts are where it's at with the current meta. And even worse, they're also taking up a bigger chunk of our YouTube feed. It used to be long-form videos on your feed, but now it's shorts and shorts and shorts and maybe a long-form video, maybe two, and then shorts and then shorts. which really explains why so many long-form YouTubers have suffered with getting their content noticed as of late. The spotlight has shrunk, but one of my biggest concerns with YouTube is them utilizing AI to moderate the platform. Now, YouTube using bots is nothing new, but it has grown much worse as of late to the point where you have YouTube's AI moderation system just straight up terminating channels with zero cause and zero recourse. The best you can hope for is to complain on Twitter and hope that a human sees your plight, but that is usually the exception. One of my second channels actually lost its monetization because allegedly I copied my own videos? I still don't understand what I was being charged with, but YouTube shut off my monetization for 3 months. And yeah, that sucked. I even sent a video to explain myself and show proof that that wasn't the case, but it was quickly discarded. To this day, I am certain that AI was my only point of contact in that regard. And sadly, the CEO of YouTube is all for the use of AI and sees generative AI as something to be welcomed. That it can do for video what the synthesizer did for music. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. This is a short-term gain, but most likely a long-term loss for YouTube and for real creators everywhere. Overall, the future outlook for YouTube is very grim. Lots of creators are seeing their channels die off. And it's harder than ever before for new channels to get their foot in the door. It feels like long-form videos are not as potent as they once were. However, they seem to be the last bastion for creators on the platform. More than ever, be yourself. Be sincere. You can't outproduce AI slop, but you can beat it when it comes to quality and authenticity. Be yourself. The days of having the most views or the most subscribers don't really matter as much anymore. It is all about sustainability. If anything, there's something to be said about finding a niche community and tribe. People from those social circles tend to dismiss slop and are instead interested in creators who put an effort into their vids. As AI slop and brain rot race to the bottom, you must rise to the top and overcome it. Also, there have been a few moments of YouTube removing AI slop from the platform, specifically misleading movie trailers. Now, this is most likely because advertisers and corporations are pissed off at them, but it might, just maybe, set a precedent to police AI garbage in the future for all types of content. Come on, YouTube, make that a guideline, please. I also wonder if YouTube might realize that greenlighting AI slop across the board will devalue their quality as a brand. Sure, you can bag some bottom-of-the-barrel ads from gambling apps or mobile games, but the big advertisers might think twice before signing off on videos like this. Again, it's not an entirely hopeless situation, but what it takes to survive on YouTube has profoundly changed, and it feels like it's trying to compromise everyone's integrity in the process. That if you want to make it, you must get on board with AI, or else be left in the dust. For years, I've tried to stay ahead of the YouTube meta and rolled with the punches when it came to topics and titles and thumbnails. Look, I know my thumbnails can be cringe, but hey, they worked. But now resorting to AI? Nah, that's where I draw the line. I will talk about cartoon girls forever, but only the old-fashioned way. At 3 a.m. with Taco Bell on my desk in my office with a cigar in one hand and a Diet Mountain Dew in the other, as God intended. I'm not that cool, actually. Truthfully, I don't care about views anymore. I care about community and making better videos. If that leads to my end, then so be it. But you will not catch me making AI slop in order to stay in the meta. Again, that is a bridge too far. And if that leads to the eventual phasing out of my channel, then it is what it is, and I had a good run. I got some other cool projects in the works anyway, like my indie pilot. Yeah, right? I'm doing that. Looking forward to sharing more about that later this year. But I'm mainly just concerned for the overall creative ecosystem of YouTube and its future. Look, I got my chance in the spotlight, and I just hope that others can sincerely get the opportunity too, under fair conditions. Hopefully, YouTube will return to its roots and keep this AI slop under control, or preferably ban it. Like I say time and time again, Generative AI is a race to the bottom, and I personally think we're on the verge of a counterculture very soon, one that prizes human creations over AI slop. In the meanwhile, bully generative AI garbage. It works! But hey folks, those are just my thoughts. What did you all think? Tell me down below in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.